I will never forget that morning. When I opened the kitchen door, I found Tola sitting on the floor, crying. Her hands were shaking, holding a crumpled letter. Sheyi, she whispered, he lied to me again. The gas was still on, the kettle boiling, but she didn't care. Her face was pale, her eyes red. I knew something was very wrong. Just 1 week earlier, everything was full of joy. Tola danced around our living room, holding our wedding invitation. Sheyi, I'm getting married, she said, laughing like a child. I laughed too. That day felt full of light. We didn't know how fast darkness can come. That evening, Kunle came to visit. He was tall, clean, and calm. He greeted Tola's mother with respect and smiled at me. He looked like that perfect man, but sometimes a perfect smile can hide storm. Tola's house were filled with joy. Women were sewing lace fabrics. Her cousins laughed as they tried on gele. The smell of fried rice filled the air. But in the middle of all that noise, Tola looked at her phone. Her face suddenly changed. That night, her phone buzzed. The message said, "Do you really know Kunle?" Attached a photo. Kunle with another woman. Tola froze. The phone slipped from her hand. Tola couldn't sleep. She sat on her bed, her phone on her lap. What if it's fake? She asked. The fan spun above, making a low sound. I told her to rest, but she just stared at the ceiling till morning. The next morning, we went to Kunle's house in Bodija. He looked surprised to see us. Tola showed him the message. He laughed and said it was a joke. But when he laughed, I noticed his eyes didn't move. That night, I heard Tola crying in her room. Kunle had called. He told her it was true. That woman was his ex, but it was over. He swore it meant nothing. Tola said she believed him, but her voice shocked. The next day, we went to pick up our wedding dress. It was beautiful, white, simple, and bright. Tola stood in front of the mirror. Maybe I'm just overthinking, she said. I smiled, but her eyes were still searching for peace. On our way home, we passed a small roadside stall. An old woman called out, "My daughter, love is sweet, but secrets are bitter." We both laughed, but deep inside, I felt cold. Next morning, Tola looked calmer. She cooked fried yam and egg, and even laughed a little. I think I will just trust him, he said softly. The sun came through the window, warm and yellow, but something in her smile looked tired. Later that afternoon, Kunle came with flour. He smiled, trying to look confident. "I'm sorry for everything," he said. Tola took the flour softly, forcing a smile. I stood at the door, watching both of them. That evening, Tola's friend came to help plan the wedding. They laughed, played music, and took pictures. But I saw Tola go quiet when someone mentioned Kunle's name. She looked away, pretending to adjust her hair. At night, Tola's phone rang again. The number was strange. She stared at it, but didn't pick up. It rang 3 times, then stopped. We looked at each other silently. In the morning, another message came. It said, "Ask him about Abike." Tola's hand shook. "Who is Abike?" she whispered. Later that day, when Kunle came back, Tola asked him directly, "Who is Abike?" For a second, he froze. Then he smiled. "No one," he said quietly. But that 1 second of silence said everything. That night, Tola had a bad dream. She told me she saw herself walking down the church. Then her veil caught fire and burned to ashes. When she woke up, she was sweating and crying. The next day, I was helping Tola arrange her files. Behind a drawer, I found a small old photo, Kunle with another woman at the beach. Back, it said, Abike and Kunle forever. That night, I showed Tola the photo. She didn't speak. Her lips trembled. Then tears dropped down her cheeks. He lied, she said. Her voice broke into a whisper. Tola wiped her face and stood up. I must see him, she said. Her voice was steady now, not weak. He would tell me everything himself. I wanted to stop her, but her eyes looked stronger than I ever seen. That afternoon, Tola went to Kunle's apartment. I followed her, but stayed outside. Through the curtain, I saw them arguing. Kunle kept shaking his head, his voice rising. Then, suddenly, he kept quiet. Tola came out with tears in her eyes. She didn't say a word. As we walked home, it started raining heavily again, just like the first night of our strange calls. Tola didn't cover her hair. She walked slowly under the rain. Lost in thoughts, she said softly, he lied to me again. That night, Kunle came by my house looking scared. He said, please tell Tola not to call that number again. Abike is dead. My chest froze. I didn't understand what he meant. He turned around and left before I could ask anymore. When I told Tola what he said, she became pale. She said quietly, then who keeps calling me? We both stared at her phone on that table as it began to ring again. The same unknown number. Tola finally answered. A woman's voice came through, soft and shaky. You will not marry him, it said. The line went dead. Tola's hand slipped, and the phone fell to the floor. The next morning, we went to an old man known as Baba Karim. He was an elder in our neighborhood, said to know the old ways. He listened and then said slowly, Abike's spirit is restless. Only promised her something before she died. Baba Karim told us that Abike was Kunle's fiancée before she died in a car crash 2 years ago. People said she died on her way to meet him after an argument. Since then, Kunle had refused to talk about her. Baba Karim looked at Tola. Abike's spirit is jealous. She believed a man is being taken. Tola's eyes filled with tears. He gave her a white cloth and said, sleep with this near your head tonight. Don't answer any call. That night, I slept beside Tola. She placed that white cloth under her pillow. We prayed together and tried to sleep. But around midnight, her phone began to ring again. I grabbed it, but there was no name, just a blank screen. The ringing stopped. Then we heard a whisper, not from the phone, but from behind the curtain. It said softly, you took him from me. We both screamed. After the whisper, we heard slow footsteps moving across the room. There was nobody there. The air became cold like Harmattan morning. Tola held my hand so tightly that my finger went numb. I quickly lit a candle beside the bed. The light flickered and bent, as if wind was inside the room. Then, on the wall, a woman's shadow appeared, long hair, wearing a white dress. Tola screamed, Abike! Tola began to cry and said, please leave us. I didn't know it was yours. The shadow didn't move. Then a voice whispered, he promised he married me. He lied. The candle went out on its own. I grabbed Tola's hand and pulled her out of the room. We ran outside barefoot, rain pouring down again. When we reached the gate, she turned back and screamed louder than ever. Abike was standing under the rain, smiling. Tola fell to the ground, shaking. I knelt beside her, crying and calling her name. Her lips moved slowly. She's calling me, she whispered. Her eyes rolled back. I rushed her to the hospital that night. She was breathing fast, mumbling Abike's name again and again. The doctor said her heart is under stress. She needs rest and peace. But peace was something we didn't have anymore. Kunle came early in the morning. His face looked empty. He said, I caused this. I promised Abike marriage, but I didn't keep it. She died angry. He held his head in his hands. Now she wants me, or no one will have me. That evening, Tola woke up weak and quiet. She said softly, I want to see Kunle. When he came in, she smiled faintly. I forgive you, she said. Then her breath slowed. Kunle leaned forward, tears falling from his eyes. He kissed her forehead and whispered, I am sorry, Tola. For a moment, the light in the room flickered. Then the monitor beside her bed went silent. When the nurse covered her body, a strong wind blew through the open window. Kunle looked up and whispered, Abike, please stop. But everyone in the room felt a cold touch brush across their skin, gentle like goodbye. Tola's burial took place 3 days later in her family compound in Ibadan. The sky was clear but heavy, as if it wanted to rain again. Kunle stood apart, head bowed, not saying a word. After everyone left, I stayed behind. I sat beside her grave, touching the soil gently. It still felt warm. I whispered, rest on, my friend. A soft wind blew and carried the dry flowers away. Days later, Kunle stopped coming to work. Neighbors said he barely ate or slept. One night, he told a friend, every time I close my eyes, I see both of them, Tola and Abike. Kunle lit a candle every night and prayed. He begged for forgiveness from God, from Abike, from Tola, but each night, the candle could go out before dawn, even with no wind. One early morning, a neighbor heard a man shouting from Kunle's room. When they broke the door open, he was lying on the floor, candle still burning beside him. His lips were moving, whispering one word, Abike. They called another elder, Baba Karim. He looked around and said, 2 souls fight over a man. One has left, the other owes him. He poured libation on the floor and prayed in Yoruba, asking the gods to set Kunle free. Baba Karim prepared a bowl of white chalk and palm oil. He rubbed it on Kunle's forehead and chest, chanting softly. For a moment, Kunle's eyes opened. He whispered, forgive me, then he went still. When they covered Kunle's body, a soft wind moved through the room. The candle flame stretched tall, then went out gently. This time, it felt peaceful, no coldness, no fear. After his burial, Baba Karim called me aside. He said, when love is pure, it gives life, but when mixed with lies, it brings death. I never forget those words. Years have passed now, but sometimes when it rains, I still remember that night. I learned that love is sacred, not a game, not a promise to break. And in Yoruba land, when the heart lies, even the spirit will seek truth. Ọ̀rọ̀ ìfẹ́ kì í ṣe ẹ̀rín. The story of Kunle, Abike and Tola teaches that promise of love must never be made lightly. In Yoruba belief, the heart carries power. What you vow before someone's spirit must be honored, or it will follow you beyond life.